Alrighty, Buccaneers fans, you already know it's another one of those videos. As you can see, I pulled out our old digital alarm clock jerseys because, listen, if we're going to play as bad as we're playing, why not go back to these atrocious jerseys when we were literally the laughing stock of the NFL? Why wear the nice current jerseys that have gotten associated with winning and a Super Bowl and all of that? Might as well go back to when things sucked. But our Tampa Bay Buccaneers have lost once again, this time to a slightly better team. I mean, I'm not going to say the Ravens are bad. They're not great because they've lost to some other teams, some worse teams, and have given up a bunch of leads. But they were a solid team, and we lost again. So that's 3 straight losses. But before I get into my reaction, I am Ramy B. If you are new here, make sure you click the subscribe button down below. I post weekly Buccaneer reaction videos. Again, I'm not going to go like my typical videos going over stats because that doesn't matter right now, but I'll go over some. We lost 27-22 to the Ravens. We had 349 yards of total offense with 305 passing, 44 rushing. I guess that's an improvement on the rushing aspect of it. The Ravens had 453 yards, 222 passing, and 231 rushing. Now, the first half of the game, perfect game plan. We came out the first drive. We had wide receiver screens. We were moving the ball. We scored. Similar to the play calling was not as good as that one Monday Night Football game against the Giants last year, but better than what we've seen all season. Our defense, perfect. Edge blitzes. We were literally getting a lot of pressure on Lamar Jackson. If he wasn't as mobile, we probably would have had an extra 2 or 3 sacks. But the blitzes off the edge were working. They weren't running the ball at all, which kind of, that's on them. And it kind of helped us out because our run defense sucks. Lamar Jackson threw 30 passes in the first half. He was what? I think he completed 14 of 30, 17 of 30 for like 140 yards, maybe. Maybe less than that, but they weren't getting anything done. They were moving the ball, but then they were just kind of flaming out. And, you know, on our side of the field and all of that stuff, we had, you know, Tucker didn't get that field goal before the half. I think we blocked it, if I remember correctly. So things were going our way, 10-3. Of course, good teams, they make adjustments. Ravens adjusted. So like I said, Lamar Jackson had 30 pass attempts in the first half. He finished the game with 38 pass attempts. In the second half, he only had 8 pass attempts. The Ravens had over 200 yards of rushing, which I think all of it came in the second half. They literally had no need to pass the ball at all, and they still moved the ball with ease. That's what you call adjustments. Meanwhile, on our end, we adjusted the other way. We stopped having those edge blitzes. All of a sudden, whatever we did on defense was not working. We knew the Ravens were going to keep running the ball, and we knew what they were trying to do, and we had no answer for it. I'm going to start with the defense again. I know a lot of people keep saying, hey, you can't blame the defense for this. Defense has done their part. I'm over that. The defense, when they play good offenses, they struggle. They have continued to struggle. The 2 good offenses we faced, or lethal offenses, were the Chiefs and Ravens. They're the only ones that put 21 on us. Bad offenses like the Steelers, they hung 20. Bad offenses like the Panthers, they hung 21. So we clearly have an issue when it comes to defending good teams. Devin White has officially gone from very good, promising, great run in the playoffs to the Super Bowl. Just needs to, you know, work on his pass coverage and is going to take that next step to, I don't want to say unplayable, but like he's not filling in the gaps like he used to. He's like freelancing. I don't know if he's trying to make splash plays so he can get a bigger contract after this year. I know he's going to ask for $100 million. Or it's like even when he's tackling now, he all of a sudden forgot how to tackle. Like literally running backs are taking him 10 yards, 15 yards down the field. I don't know what happened to him. He went from, you know, being someone that like you could at least rely on to, he would miss some tackles because he plays kind of crazy, but he would get some, and now he's not getting any tackles at all. Running backs are not being, like, defensively, we have a lot of issues, and I know the secondary has injuries, but the Ravens, I mean, when they tested us in the first half, we kind of shut down their pass game for the most part, but then, you know, I wouldn't blame the secondary because they stopped passing the ball. It's literally our front 7. Shaq Barrett went down, and Bowles said it was an Achilles. So, I mean, there goes our only pass rush for the season. Even then, he wasn't really playing that well this year. Defense has a lot of work that it needs to be done. Again, if our offense can score 25 points a game, I think things will be different. But I do want to go to the offense. Brady, I don't know what's going on. He did not look like himself this game. 26 of 44 for 325 yards and a garbage time touchdown to Julio Jones. Mike Evans balled as usual, 6 catches for 123 yards. For some reason this game, they weren't really in sync. There were some other balls that were underthrown by Brady, and I think that's becoming an issue. A lot of Brady's deep balls are underthrown, and some of the intermediate routes, he's like grounding them, literally throwing them to the ground. My theory is, I think it was the Chiefs game when he got sacked and held his rotator cuff. I think the injury is worse than they're saying. It would make sense why anytime he feels pressure, he's kind of ducking those. Before the half, when he took those 2 sacks back-to-back, both of them he kind of like gave up before the pass rush was there. And I'm wondering if that shoulder's hurting and he just doesn't want to get slammed down to the ground. And then his throws, you know, he's not having the same velocity in a lot of his throws. It might be that rotator cuff. Even a couple red zone attempts. There was the one to Mike Evans. I want to say it was in the first half or early second half where Evans was running across the end zone, kind of near the out of bounds line, and Brady led him too far and too far back. And there was another one in the corner, was a little too far, and then in the fourth quarter to Kyle Rudolph as well. He was wide open and Brady led him too far. And it seems like his passes have become much more inaccurate. But I think the bigger issue now, besides what happened in the game, I mean, I thought we were going to lose this game anyways. I think, or I've been saying that we need to fire Byron Leftwich or figure something out. I knew they weren't going to do it on such a short week, but now we have, 10, 11 days until we face the LA Rams, who also suck, but Sean McVay's the better coach, so they're probably going to win that game in Tampa. However, I don't know what needs to happen on the offensive end. Bruce Arians, obviously, he's not going to come back, and I feel like if we come into the Rams game without major changes on our coaching staff, then that means the ownership / front office is giving up on the season, and they don't care about Bucs fans. And I think Bucs fans are going to make it very obvious, and they're going to be very vocal about it. I don't know what needs to change. I think it was in 2018. Dirk Cutter's last year, I forgot if Todd Monken was the offensive coordinator, but he wasn't calling plays. And I remember we were struggling offensively for a bit. And then when he gave, I want to say Monken, when he gave him play calling duties, I remember our offense kind of exploded. We started scoring more. Because I remember that one game we played at that time, it was the Redskins. I think we had over 500 yards of offense and only 3 points. Monken came in, and I think he opened the season up too. That's why that season we started with Fitzpatrick and we were kind of balling out on offense. I think we need a fresh set of eyes and a new philosophy. I don't know if you all know on Twitter that guy named NFLosophy. He had an article talking about Byron Leftwich and his inability to string plays together, and how previously, when we are successful, we get ahead of downs. But now he's like wasting first downs and putting us behind. But there was another tweet, I forgot by who, where he was saying essentially when you watch it, the play calls themselves are not bad, but it just seems like Byron Leftwich is just calling plays to call them. He doesn't have any kind of offensive rhythm. He can't really read the defense and do what needs to be done. Hence why a lot of times we'll move down the field passing, and once we get in the red zone, we go from no huddle to huddling, and then we start running up the middle. He doesn't have a good understanding of the flow of the game, and he doesn't have kind of like an offensive scheme or identity that he wants to go with. He's just kind of like, when a lot of people play Madden, they just kind of call plays. Some people have good rhythm and good understanding, and some don't. That's kind of how he's been. He just kind of calls whatever he feels will work in the moment rather than trying to follow a specific thing. I know Todd Bowles in his after-game presser was asked about coaching changes, and I think he said something along the lines of nothing is off the table, and they were going to take a look and review coaching by the next game. And honestly, that's what they have to do. We've lost 3 of our last 5. We lost 3 of our last 4 games. We lost to the Packers, Chiefs, we beat the Falcons, and then we lost 3. Literally, if you think about it, we are one bad call away from losing the Falcons game and having 6 losses in a row. That's how bad it is. If they didn't call that roughing the passer and the Falcons got the ball back, they had a good opportunity to go down, score, and win the game, and then we would be talking about a 6-game losing streak. Brady's never been 2 losses below 500, and apparently this is the first time. He hasn't lost 3 games in a row in like 20 years. We're breaking all of these bad stats that Brady has, and if you look at his body language, I mean, obviously, I don't want to say he doesn't care, because no 45-year-old is going to go get hit by all these young players if they don't care, but his energy isn't there, and I think, why... If he retires, if he doesn't retire, I don't think he's staying with Tampa. Like, why would he come back? I don't know. Again, I keep saying Arians. I don't know if Brady ran Arians out. I still don't believe it, but if he did, I'm sure he's regretting it now. But, offensively, we look out of sync. Evans was looking frustrated. There was, they highlighted it where, I think right before commercial break, where Evans kind of went to Brady kind of frustrated because I think he was open or Brady underthrew it. I forgot what play they were talking about. But definitely the offense has a lot of problems. We went from averaging... last year, I think 28.7 points a game, something like that, averaging over 30 points a game over the last 2 years to we can barely crack 17 points now. Like, on average, I think we're 17.7 before today's game. Yeah, things have to change. We are back to being, it's a Bucs life. The stadium was full of Ravens fans. You could tell by the end of the game when we were on offense how loud they were doing their chant. Rams game, we probably shouldn't worry about the fans so much. Rams fans don't buy tickets apparently. And but I think things have to change if this is the end of our run, which it looks like it is. Definitely grateful. We had 2 years of being one of the best teams in the NFL. I don't know if we had the best record over those 2 years, but I mean, what did we win? Like 24 out of 29 games after that bye week in 2020. One of the best offenses. I think we were number 1 or 2. I think we were probably 1 in scoring overall. If you average both years together, probably 1 or 2 in yards per game. One of the most exciting teams to watch, one of the most explosive deep plays. We got a Super Bowl out of it, broke a lot of records. I mean, Brady did, got 5,000 yards and all of that kind of stuff. But yeah, we got a Super Bowl again. I think there's 19 teams that don't even have. I think it was 19 teams have less Super Bowls than us. So we're definitely in the elite category of when it comes to NFL. So definitely, I'm sorry, my cat is trying to come in. Hey, sit down. So yeah, if this is the end of it, I'm definitely grateful. But it looks like we have darker days ahead. I think if 3-5 right now, if we lose that Rams game, depends how we lose. But if we're 3-6 with the way our division is playing, I think we have a good shot of bouncing back. If we lose a couple more after that, it'll be over. In the division, we are second place right now. However, the Falcons play the Panthers this weekend, and whoever wins that will take the division. So if the Panthers win, we will be second place because of the tiebreaker with the Falcons. If the Falcons win, I still think we'll stay in the same. Either way, we're not in first place, so things are not looking good. But yeah, Bucs fan, comment down below what you want to see and what can we do to make things better. Do we need to literally bring Arians back and force Bowles out? Byron Leftwich, who do we want calling plays? We even know who else can call plays. There's definitely a lot of things to think about over these next 10 days. But yeah, Bucs Nation, thank you for tuning in, and as always, I am out.